Hello punters and welcome back to another Saturday racing preview ahead of Randwick tomorrow. Of course, we are looking at that meeting here in this video. If you haven't already done so, go and check out my Caulfield preview and the tips for the Caulfield meeting there tomorrow as well. Apologies for the late upload. I've been caught up a little bit today and that's why there's the gap between videos. But hopefully a lot of you can still get a hold of this and be ready to go tomorrow before you get your bets on. So look at race number 1 tomorrow at Randwick. We're just going to get straight into it. Group 3, just to kick off the program, the Withens Stakes for the 2-year-old fillies over 1,100 metres. With the speed map here, I'd say away game finds the front. In Flanders will probably box seat in behind. I'd say Sentimental will sit up outside the lead, and Filsy and September Run will take the rear of the field unless we might get a bit of surprise. So keep an eye on the tactics changes as always, and they will always put it in to say if there's a horse going forward in the run or not. But look, for me, away game looks hard to beat. It's $2.10. I think that's a decent enough price to go out here. It's coming in with the best form, of course, won the Magic Millions up at the Gold Coast, so you really can't get much better form than that. Probably that one beat Smart and Sexy at Doomben, which looked to be a good form line race leading into the Magic Millions. And prior that was beaten by Hansetic at Sandown. We know how good that form is. Hansetic came out and blitzed them last week at Caulfield in the Blue Diamond Prelude race. So that form's really good around the away game. I think you just got to be with it on top here. Finds the top, takes luck out of the equation. 5-horse field, but I just think it's got the class on these, and you've got to go with the stronger form line. So they get $2.10. It's very much worth it. I think in Flanders is a bit of value in for second. I can't believe it's the outside of the field. Although its run was pretty good last time out. Had it on top in the last race. Celestebill, I think, is one of the top 2-year-olds in the crop right now, and it really did prove that on the heavy. It smashed them at Rose Hill, but in Flanders was really coming home nicely on the heavy track. Comes back onto the good ground. I think it'll be much improved performance from there. Gets a really good run from gate 1. I think it'll be definitely should not be the outside of the field. I think it's going to come in for second. In for third, number 2, Filsy. It was very good on debut at the Kensington track, beating Osamu at Randwick over 1,150 metres. Steps back to the 1,100 metres here. Thought that was a really nice win there. I think maybe just to step back to 1,100 metres might be just a fraction sharp. I think the extra 50 metres, it really did need that to get over the line last time out. This time around, get some really sharp opposition, including away game. It's going to have to really be ready to go. And I think 3:40 is a little bit short, but I'm happy to have it in for third. And then for fourth, number 4, Sentimental, who was pretty good second. First up on debut at Rose Hill behind Sancy. Form line of that race hasn't been terrific, but I still think it was a good enough run to warrant a good performance here. So recap the numbers for race number 1. Number 1 away game looks really hard to beat for me. In for second, number 3 in Flanders. In for third, number 2 Filsy. And in for fourth, number 4 Sentimental. Moving on to race number 2. And it's the second of the Group 3 race for the 2-year-olds. We've got the Iron Jack Canterbury Stakes over 1,100 metres. Look at the 6-horse field here. Look at the speed map. So Return with Honour will find the top. Nitrous will probably sit just outside of it. I'd say Prague and Global Quest will probably sit in behind. Gravina might even use the inside barrier to kick up. And Gaussian will probably be towards the rear of the field. Although has been showing a little bit of speed in his trials. It was a really nice trial behind Aftermath last time out. Look, for me, I'm going to go with Prague here. I was really impressed with its first up performance at Canterbury. Beat Easy Campese on that occasion. Won really nicely, just let down well. Form line has been great. I don't know if you saw tonight. I was pretty keen on Easy Campese because I thought that form line would be good. That horse was a little bit disappointing at Canterbury earlier tonight. But I still think that this horse has got a lot of upside, and I thought it was a good win, and I think it can do it again here. And at number 1, Global Quest, who I do concede is a very good horse. That was a very good win beating Postcode back in November. But for me, that little fresh spell, I think $2.30 is just a fraction short for me. I'd rather go with Prague at the $4, but do concede this horse got a lot of ability and it should be running a good race, and I've got him for second. In for third, number 4, Gravina, who returns from a spell, came into some good races earlier on in October and November. Failed to fire there, but I think coming back to the track now off a decent trial at Randwick over 735 metres. It comes here now, gets barrier 1. I think it will get a nice run in transit. Might be pretty hard. I can see an improved performance from it. And number 2, Nitrous, I think is the other one. It'll be up on speed. Be really going a long way. And coming out of that same away game form in the Magic Millions, which I think is the best form. So technically looking at the form lines, it does have the best form coming out of it. But I think prior to that, its form was just okay. So I'd like to see a bit of improvement. But it'll be up on speed and be rolling along there with Return with Honour. So looking for me, number 5, Prague is the one to beat for me. I think it's the perfect run in the race, and I love the way it let down last time out at Canterbury. First up on its debut win, and I think it can go and do it again here under Tommy Marquand, who we will be hoping can secure an early running double for us. Number 1, Global Quest in for second. In for third, number 4, Gravina in for fourth. Number 2, Nitrous. Moving on to race number 3, it's the Tab Highway 1500 metre race for the 3-year-old plus class 3. Look at the speed map for this one. As usually with a lot of highway races, quite a lot of speed in this. I'd say Zaramatic, Sawtell, Electrified will use inside barriers to get forward. Smiling, Malalito, Harbouring, Delayed Response, and Most Glory will all be pressing on for the speed. So there'll be a lot of speed in this race, I would say. And look, as such, I am looking towards a back marker here. In a way, and I think number 1, Greenspan, looks pretty hard to beat here. I think it's just going to get all the right favours to really run on this race. It's really good behind Denman last time out, and Congregate beating it the start prior. So it's horse in some good form, and it's coming out some good highway races. So I think it'll be hard to beat. It just maps perfectly for this horse to win this race. So I think it's going to be the hard to beat. Number 3, Harbouring, first up for Robert Northam here, and coming into this race. First up stats are very good. 2 starts for 1 win, 1 placing. I think it's got a great chance to be rolling along. Maybe just in behind the speed, I reckon, from that barrier, that gate barrier. I think it would just be really close enough to the speed. Get a nice run in transit. Natural Will in the saddle. I think it'll be hard to beat. This horse has shown a bit of ability last preparation. Number 2, Sawtell with Tim Clark in the saddle. This thing is building towards a win here. I liked its last start performance at Rosehill on the heavy track behind Rosario. I thought it came home nicely. Just really stuck on well. I think it can improve off of that performance coming back onto the better ground. And then in for fourth, number 11, Zaramatic for with Christian Reith in the saddle with barrier 1. Gets the speed. I think it's going to get a really nice run in the race. Comes off a good Wagga win last time out. And prior to that was a second to Let Me Guess, which is some decent enough form line to bring into this. So, recap the numbers for me. Look, I'm keen to be at number 1, Greenspan here, ahead of number 3, Harbouring in for second. In for third, number 2, Sawtell. And in for fourth, number 11, Zaramatic. Move on to race number 4 now, and we get now into the benchmark 88 50 years ATC members recognition to the 1500 metres. Nice little race here. A lot of these horses looking for further ground, but I still think there's some nice, there's still some good winner to be found in this race. Let's look at the speed map here. I'd say Love Shack Baby, Tunbury, and also Night of Power will find the top. So not a whole lot of speed in this race. And I think the number 8, Night of Power, might be the one to beat here at the $3.30. It is quite short. And this horse that's come across from Ireland. It was pretty good first up here in Australia at Canterbury behind Echo Jet. Then it came out last start. It was really good being Dalmatia Prince. The format of the race has been pretty good. So I think that it can just only get further improvement from that. Kieran McAvoy on bottom weight. Only carries the 53 kilos. I would appreciate that slight drop in weight. So I think it's just going to be really hard to beat in here again. Just looks a lead and be hard to run down. It really did get pressed last time out at Canterbury. It really found that desire to win. And I just thought that was quite impressive over the 1550 metres. Now it comes up to the more suitable distance range. I think it'll be quite hard to beat. Sorry, it comes back to the 1500. My apologies, but I think it'll be quite hard to beat here. Ahead of number 1, Onslaught, who I think can improve off its last start performance. It was beaten by Face Loss. I mean, that's some great form to bring into this. Tom Marquand in the saddle. I think $10 as well over the odds for it. So I think it's got a good chance. In for third, number 5, Romney Girl, who again comes out of some good form lines. It comes out of her last time out. It was finished behind Invincibella, which I thought was a terrific run at the Gold Coast. That's look at some real top line form there with Invincibella. Prior to that was beaten by Tanico. And prior to that was beaten by Shawnee and beat Final Award at Randwick prior to that. So there's some really good form lines around Romney Girl. I think it'd be quite hard to beat as well. And definitely got in the top 3. Then in for fourth for me, number 3, Goldstream. I could see improving off its last start performance. It drops right down the weights. Now this horse has been running around in the country meetings recently. Now comes right back, right up in grade here. But I think that third up here just might be able to run a decent cheeky race at the big odds. So look, for me, number 8, Night of Power, looks the progressive type, and the big drop in weight for me is the key, and I'm going to have it on top. Out of number 7, Onslaught, for second. In for third, number 5, Romney Girl, and in for fourth, number 3, Goldstream. Move on to race number 5 now, and it's over 400 metres, benchmark 70, the Sky Racing Active Handicap. Nice little race here. Looking at the speed map for this one, I'd say that Beaufort Park, Rari, Fasano, and Echo Gem will be the leaders. I'd say Echo Gem and Rari will be the 2 leaders, with Beaufort Park and Fasano sitting behind them. Matty Rocks, Deodoro, and will be in behind them. I'd say Subpoena will drop right to the back of the field. Look, for me, Subpoena's the one to beat. It's just got the most upside out of all these. It really showed a lot of promising form coming over here from New Zealand with Chris Waller. Started short price favourite, $1.50, was beaten on that occasion, but then it came out and beat Celestial Falls, who, of course, went on, was really competitive in the Oaks. So I think that's some very good form to bring into this kind of race first up here. Over the 1400 metres, which I think is a decent enough distance for it. I mean, you look at last preparation, it won over the 1300, but then went up to Group 2 level over the 14, and then went to Group 2 level behind Moonlight Maid down at Flemington in the over 600 metres, where it finished behind Moonlight Maid. It jumps off favourite on that occasion as well, so a lot of respect around. I think it's really hard to beat. $2.35 is a great price if you ask me. So I've got it on top there, number 7 Rari, who will just be on speed, chopping away. But we'll give him something to catch. I mean, look at the recent starts. It was beaten by Chat last time. It beat Capri Tuffy last time. It has since come out and won. So the form around this horse is very good, and it doesn't know how to not run a top 2 finish in its last 4 starts. I think that'll bowl well here. They'll have Subpoena running from the back, but I think I'll have him chasing a long way out. In for third, number 10, Matty Rocks, who returns to the track, has had a couple of scratchings, which just concerns me a little bit, this horse, that maybe they're struggling to get it right for the race day. So I'm just going to prefer to watch her around, because I'm a big fan of her. She was very good, only narrowly beaten by Pandemic first up last preparation, which we know what Pandemic has done. Obviously won brilliantly last week at Randwick. Prior to that, then it went finished behind Yao Dash and Erno and Akari. So, I mean, you look at some very good form there. So, this horse definitely has got a great chance. Number 10, Matty Rocks, in for third. Then in for fourth for me, number 2, Echo Gem, who will also be on speed. Give him something to catch. Tim Clark is very good at riding the front runner, especially for Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott. I think he'll be riding the finish as well. Recap the numbers for me. Look, number 8, Subpoena, looks really hard to beat. Ahead of number 7, Rari, in for second. In for third, number 10, Matty Rocks. And in for fourth, number 2, Echo Gem. Moving on to race number 6, 2,000 metre, benchmark 78, Schweppes Handicap. Looking at the speed map for this race, I'd say that guys will be right up there. Dylan's Romance usually likes to lead. Savvy Ken will be towards the speed. Cinquay will be not far behind. I'd say She's Ideal usually likes to be up towards the speed as well. So quite a lot of speed in this race. And for 2,000 metre race, it'll be very interesting to see where some of these land in the run. But look, I'm going to land with number 4, Costello here. I think it's great odds. Its second up form is terrific. I mean, you look at 3 starts for 2 wins and a placing. Though its first up run was sensational behind Bandersnatch. And Bandersnatch got its own decent enough form in its own right. And it's a decent horse. So I think this horse, Costello, can bounce off of that with its great second up stats. It looks really good race for it. It looks to get a perfect run in transit. I think it'll be hard to beat with Glenn Boss in the saddle. I think $5 down only 5 to place is very good each way value. So I'm going to have it on top. Head number 8, Birth of Venus. It was really good winning last time out on the heavy track at Rose Hill. I thought it just let down really nicely, and it showed a bit of good form there. It's a horse that's come over from Ireland. It was a little bit disappointing first up, but albeit it was in a lot of good races. You'll get the likes of finishing behind Grinzinger Star and Think Blue around the time were really in some good form. So I think Birth of Venus got a good chance here to bounce off that last start win, and prior to that a second. So I think will much improve off of that, and we'll really appreciate the hot tempo that it looks to be on paper. In for third, number 1, Guys, who has been battling away well. I think it was okay last time out behind Dark Pearl, but prior to that it was in some very good form. I mean, you're looking at a second behind Vedian, who was really good at Randwick on that occasion, and looks a very good horse that has come over for Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott. Prior to that, it beat Fun Fact. Fun Fact has since come out 1, as we saw last week. So the form around Guys is very good. So I'm going to have it in for third. And then if I'm going to have Guys, then I've got to have Dark Pearl in as well, who did beat it last time out. So I think the form is good enough there for Dark Pearl to go again. And I think $12 is silly odds, really, for this horse. I've left out She's Ideal. I just think, while she knows how to run a top three race, I think her form's just average, and I don't think it warrants being favourite. So I went to look around it, and I'm happy with the ones I've got right now. But number 4, Costello, is one to beat for me. I think it's great value at the $5 with its second up stats. In for second, number 8, Birth of Venus. In for third, number 1, Guys. And in for fourth, number 2, Dark Pearl. Moving to race number 7, it's the Group 2 Expressway Stakes, Group weight for age, over 1,200 metres. A sensational race, this one. Really looking forward to this. We really get a good look coming into autumn now with a lot of these top liners coming back. Look at the speed map here. I'd say Orothea will lead. Kiyamichi will be up there with it. Vega Days and White Moss will probably usually like to be towards the speed, so they'll be up there. Standout has showed a bit of toe in its run, so it'll be towards the speed. I'd say Cold will be close enough as well. Look, terrific race. I think I'm going to lean with Raceday. I don't like to go the favourites all the time, but she's looking to go back to back in this race. She of course won it well last year at the short price odds. She looked a little bit nervy for a second there, but she got the job done. And her first up stats are just sensational. I mean, you can't go past it. 5 starts for 4 wins. She really knows how to show up first up, and I thought her trial was quite good. She was just tracking along under her own speed behind Nature Strip. I thought it was a good enough run, and I think she'll win first up here despite the short odds. Number 9, Standout's the one that I really see some improvement from. I think this horse that Gerald Ryan's got is a very, very top-line performer, and it's going to be winning some good races this autumn. I can guarantee it, and it'll kick off with a very good first-up performance here. I think it'll be the main rival to Elite. I mean, looking at last preparation, form around Cosmic Force is very good to bring into this, so I think it's come back nicely. It looks to have trialled up a peach coming into this, beating the likes of Singing Ribbon, second behind Dream Force, which is pretty good to bring into this. And so I think it'll be a great chance. And 550, I think it's a decent enough price for it. Number 4, Vega Days, thought was way over the odds. I mean, this horse failed last prep when it came in against Elite, say in this exact race. Has had a decent enough break. Sorry, not this exact race. It was a weight for age Group 2, but it was over the 1,500 metres. But look, this horse, I think, was the Missile Stakes. Sorry, my apologies, over the 1,200 metres. But look, prior to that, I mean, he's got form around the Autumn Sun. So, I mean, really good type of form. Had some good trials leading in. I think $17 is just way over the odds. If he shows up to his best form, he'll go really close to winning this. So I think you could definitely have an each way go at him if you don't want to have a go at Elite, say at the 225. I definitely suggest an each way bet on Vega Days in for third. Then in for fourth, number 1, Colding. Look, has a lot of class, but 1,200 metres, just a little bit of a query at this distance range against this sort of opposition, but has decent enough first up form and is a very good horse, like we said. The of course won the Epsom and beat the likes of Sunlight, Tiakau Shark last preparation, Fierce Impact. So we're looking at some really good form last prep, and I think it can improve well here. And it's tried up pretty good leading into this as well, Colding. So I think it'll need to run first up, but I still can see it being in the top 4. Look, so I'm going to go number 5, Elite Sound top for me for the selections in race number 7. Number 9, Standout, and for second. And for third, number 4, Vega Days. And in for fourth, number 1, Colding. Move on to race number 8 now, and it's the benchmark 78 over 1,400 metres. It's the Randwick handicap. Look at the speed map here. I'd say a lot of speed in this. Assault and Bathory were trying to do it in the handicap. The highway race last time out, which I tipped the followers on the social media pages into that at the $26 odds, which was a terrific win. It'd be a much tougher task here, though. Tony's Reward usually is up there. Ron Star likes to get on speed. Common Purpose, usually a leader. Monsieur Sisu, Manhattan Mist, usually like to be on the speeds. There's a lot of speed this race. So I think it will suit the back markers, and one of them is number 12, Yonkers, for Kara McAvoy and Chris Waller. Of course, we're not talking about the US harness racing media, but it's the horse that's come across from Ireland and raced first up behind at Benalla. Now, you might look at that form and think, it's just Benalla, it's a maiden race, finished second. It's been by Walking Flying. Now, Walking Flying is an above average horse, and it was a good win by Walking Flying, who then went on and ran in some good races after that last preparation. Then it went to Gosford, won really well, beating Pincer on that occasion, and since then has been spelled. It's come back after 93 days, had just the one trial leading in, finished last on that occasion, but I think this horse might be ready to go first up, and the race just seems to suit perfectly for it, so I'm going to have it on top at the $8 odds. I think it's got a great chance to win here. Number 2, Manhattan Mist, is in for second, who has terrific second up stats. I can't believe it's paying $8 really, and off barrier 2 with Tommy Berry in the saddle, it's going to be really hard to beat, I think. It's third up coming into this race, and its third up stats are really good, so I think it's just going to get a perfect run coming into the race. It was decent enough run last time out. Finished fourth by No Escape. It was really making some good ground late, and I think it hit the line well. I think it'll improve off of that coming into this. In for third, number 6, Destiny's Own, who will really appreciate the hot speed. Has had 2 good trials leading into this by Diodora and Ulasaba. prior to that, it was beaten by Excellent Proposal. It was a favourite on that occasion. So I'm willing to give it another chance here coming off those two good trials. And like I said, the race is really going to run to suit for this horse. So I think I've got him for third, paying the $5.50 odds. And then for fourth, a bit of a wide play here. I think number 4, Monty Sisu, can stick on and run a good race. First up stats aren't great. It's only had the one place from 3 goes, but off that inside barrier, I can see it getting a good enough run under Kathy O'Hara and really give him something to run down. Its form leading has been great. Second in a trial to Time to Rain, and then beat Shannon Ambition in a trial where it looks really good. It had some good speed there. So might just be nice and fresh here. I think the $17 odds is probably a bit over overs for that horse. Recap the numbers for me on race number 8. It's number 12, Yonkers, on top for me. To beat number 2, Manhattan Missing for second. And for third, number 6, Destiny's Own. And for fourth, number 4, Monty Assisi. I left out Tony's Reward now. I think it's got a great chance. I'm just not sure about the barrier. I mean, barrier 8, there's a lot of speed on the inside. I'm not sure what Hugh Bowman's going to do with this horse, and that's just the question for me. No doubting on the ability, and obviously the form lines around have been pretty good. The likes of it, form behind Embracer and In and Up is pretty decent form for this, but just didn't think it should warrant being favourite personally, and I wanted to make a case for some of the other ones who I thought were a bit of value. Move on to race number 9, the final race of the card, 1200 metres, benchmark 88, the Highland Race Colours Handicap. Looking at the speed map for this race, again, decent amount of speed in this. I'd say Cuba and Embrace will be towards the top from barriers 1 and 3 respectively. Americana Magic, Special Reward will be up there. In and Up will be close enough from the outside barrier. I'd suggest try and slot in behind them. But a really nice race to finish off the day. I can't believe it's a benchmark 88, really. A lot of these horses could go into some good races from here, but I'm keen to play number 4, Laburnum here. I think it's just huge odds at $17. I was keen on it last time out. I'm willing to say that it just didn't handle the heavy going. I thought it was tracking into the race brilliantly. It just didn't seem to get through the going well. It comes back onto a good track now. Much better surface. Second up stats are good. It's had 4 starts, second up for 3 placings. Josh Parr jumps on. I think this horse can just sit in behind the speed and perhaps really charge over the top of them. The reason I was so keen on it leading into its first up run, and I was a little bit curious on the heavy track, but its trial leading in was so good, and I just think if it reproduced that trial here, it could go really close to winning this race. I think $7 is ridiculous, and I'm going to back it each way and make it my top selection. Head to number 6, Dawn, who she's also a silly price, $9.50 for this horse. I mean, she was beaten by Prime Candidate, then she went down to Caulfield and beat Sam's Image and finished third in Manicure, and then obviously went to that Hawkbury and her race, a Group 2 race there. But she's a Group 3 winner, and she's coming around a benchmark 88 here first up. I just can't really figure out why she's $9.50, and I would suggest an each way play at her as well. First up stats, 1 win for 2 placings. So I think she's great value at the $9.50 as well. So there's 2 real good chances at each way odds that I think are, you could definitely have an each way go at. The other one is number 11, Right Here, and who I also think is great, really good odds. I mean, this horse was excellent first up last preparation, being improvement at the $1.40. Then came out and failed after that, which was a little bit concerning. But I mean, this is a horse that is proven first up, 2 from 2, and $10 odds with Karen McAvoy in the sale. I think it's a bit silly, and all that pace of the race is going to really suit this horse to run on from the back. And another one who I thought was also quite big odds was number 13, Reloaded. Now, look, I'm going to wait another time for this horse because I think its trials leading have been fantastic. But look at the form last preparation. I mean, it beat Disruptor, finished second to Prince Fawaz, and then third again in a Group 1 race there. I mean, really good form for number 13, Reloaded. And I think it's got a great chance. I'm going to put in for fourth. I just think there's a lot of value in this race. I want to definitely lay number 3, Embracer. I think this is not going to be the race for it. Although I can see it knows how to finish top 2. I just think that this race, a lot of speed, a lot of pressure, and there's going to be a lot of good horses in this race, so I think you've got good futures ahead of them. So I'm going to go around it, go with a bit of value. And number 4, Laburnum, was my one for me. Ahead of number 6, Dawn, and for second. And for third, number 11, Right Here. And then for fourth, number 13, Reloaded. Like I said, I mean, I wouldn't, if you're out there watching this video, I wouldn't go against going any of those 4 that I just said. I think they're all great chances at the each way odds. It really is an open race, and that's sort of why I go against the favourites. This is this is the advice that I kind of pass on. I don't like to go favourites or things at short odds. When I say short odds, $5 or less, unless for me they really stand out. I've got no hesitation at all, really. And It's similar to short price favourites. Don't like to go them unless you're just 100% confident. And that's what my message to you guys out there is, I wouldn't be loading up my money unless you've got no doubt in your mind that it's going to be winning the race. I'd prefer to go a bit of value in this race in particular. I could see improvement from Laburnum. Dawn's terrific first up and had some good trials leading in. Reloaded had some sensational form as a 2-year-old. I mean, looking at, as I mentioned, the 4-round Prince Fawaz is very, very good. And Rahiran, who's an excellent first up. So I think, for me, to go with Lashes or Embracer, albeit they've been in great form, they're coming up against some top-line opposition here that are going around at bigger odds. So I'd rather go with the bigger odds for me. So looking at the best bets of the card for me, look, like I mentioned, race number 1, I'm very keen on an away game. I think it's going to be hard to beat, the $2.10. So make that one of my best bets. The other one that I am quite keen on is in race number 5. Yeah, race number 5, number 8, Subpoenaed. I think it will show its class here and win well first up. So, look, 2 really short odds horses. But like I mentioned, I only go them if I'm 100% confident. I'm very confident on these 2. And I'm happy to make them my best bets. I like to go something a little bit bigger at the odds. But for me, they're 2 that are very hard to beat. And I think they're definitely worth making my best bet selections. And for you guys to jump on, I really think they're worth getting on. Gamble responsive, of course, but I could definitely suggest putting a little bit on them because I think they're going to be hard to beat. In race number 6, number 4, Costello is one of my best value bets of the day. I think $5.95 the place is great value. I'm going to have it in as one of my best value bets. And of course, in race number 9, I'm very keen to play number 4, Laburnum. I think it's got a great chance to improve off that first up performance. So thanks for tuning in for this racing preview and my tips ahead of tomorrow. Don't forget to check me out on social media where I post all these tips as well as one during the midweeks. So if you want to get more tips from me, go and have a look at me on social media. CLA_racing tips on Instagram and CLA Racing Tips on Facebook. If you haven't already done so as well, go check out the Caulfield video, the preview there, and all the tips. So thanks for tuning in. It's great to be back. I'm looking forward to giving you plenty more of these in the coming weeks ahead of a cracking autumn carnival of racing that we've got ahead, leading right into the winter where we'll see the South Australian and Queensland carnivals come into effect as well. So thanks for tuning in. Happy punting tomorrow, and hopefully we find plenty of winners.